Okay, so just a sneak peek at some things that are going to come later, chapter 11 in particular. But I just wanted to give you guys an idea that we just don't add and subtract polynomials just because and keep you busy. There's actually applications for it, and one of the applications is a business app. And basically, in business, we usually try to run a business to earn profit. And profit is gained by taking the money that you've earned by making a product and subtracting the cost that we incurred to make that product. So it turns out, like, if we let X be the number of units that you and I produce and sell, right, it turns out that the revenue function is usually a function that is a degree 2 polynomial. So it might be something like negative 1/4 x squared, let's say, plus 80x. All right, and the reason why this is the case will come up later in chapter 11. All right, might even come up later in this chapter. I'll try to sneak it in. But what we have there is an application. So, revenue. So typical revenue, some simple circumstances with supply and demand, we end up with a degree 2 polynomial. The cost ends up being a linear function. So, maybe 10x and then plus 30. And so basically in a cost, this is a little easier to explain, is maybe it cost me $10 per unit to produce, and then there's a $30 of fixed cost for possibly supplies or the building that I rent, whatever the case might be. So it's probably a little easier to understand that cost is a variable cost, how much does it cost per unit, and then a fixed cost. And so putting this together then, if my profit is revenue minus cost, I'm going to take my revenue function, negative 1/4 x squared plus 80x, and I'm going to subtract my cost function. All right, and then there's your application of subtracting polynomials. We're subtracting a degree 2 binomial to a degree 1 binomial. Of course, we just saw in subtraction, we change the signs behind it. I can just drop these parentheses in the front since nothing's going on around them. But since we're subtracting, signs change behind us. And combining like terms, we end up with 70x minus 30. So there's basically our profit function. So if I wanted to know, like let's say we wanted to make 100 units, right, then I would basically plug that into this formula. So now we're doing some evaluation, and I think this is negative 1/4, and that's, I think, 10,000, and that's 7,000 minus 30. And I think this would be negative 2,500. You guys have the calculators, you can check my math. All right, and then adding some stuff up, I believe this part right here, let me do the math over here. 0, 0, 5. So this is 4,500 minus 30, which basically gives us 4,500, and it looks like 70, right? And maybe that's measured in dollars. So if this is for producing some sort of unit, right? If this is my revenue function, how much I bring in, and this is my cost function, how much I get out, then if we produce 100 units, according to our subtraction, we would gain $4,570 in profit. All right, and so, the idea is, should we make more? Should we make less? And those are things that we hopefully will investigate in this class. For sure in the Math 150 class is where we'll see that. But I just wanted you guys to see an application that there is a method to the madness. There are a reason why we do some things. And it does give us a little bit of precursor of things in the future. So that wraps up our addition and subtraction of polynomials. We now need to know how to multiply. So that'll be in the next several videos that we see coming up when we jump to 4.5 in terms of sections. I'll see you guys in the next video.